Hi, my name is Bernadette, and I am a wedding and creative business consultant. And it is so lovely to have you here on my channel. Today, I would love to talk to you about offboarding a client and how you can create a beautiful experience from a client when you're saying goodbye to them. It's not something that we can think of often. We quite often will create a really beautiful customer journey when someone joins our world, but we often forget when they're leaving our world. So I'm going to share some of my views on that with you today. But before I do, I would love if you could support my channel here by just hitting like and subscribe. Also, if you just look at the links below, you'll find links to our website, social media, but also a link directly to the blog article that is relating to our topic of today. So you can read further information just by clicking the link below. So, how do you create a beautiful experience for a client when they are leaving you? Is this something that you currently do? If you do, I would love you to leave a comment down below. Let me know what it is that you do when you're saying goodbye to a client. Perhaps you've also got a story that you'd love to share when you as a customer have left somewhere and how you have been treated. Now, um, I'm sure you've all heard the advice on why it's important to create a comprehensive onboarding process, setting those boundaries that I've spoken to you about before, highlighting what can be expected. A lot of that is going to be automated, which is essential when you are scaling your business. It creates that very well-oiled machine that clients like because they feel that they're joining a company that's going to give them a real high level of customer service. And do you know what? This is so important because creating that first impression is essential. It is. But what about when a client leaves you? Whether from a natural end to a service, like a wedding day, or from a client deciding that they no longer need your services, or perhaps they've come to an end of a package, like a consultancy coaching package. Creating a lasting impression, in my opinion, is as important as creating that first impression. Now, we often think about the first impression, but how often do you actually think about creating that lasting impression? Because just like when I explain to clients that you don't have a booking until that contract is signed and monies have been paid, when you're offboarding a client, the relationship doesn't end yet. You know, the process hasn't ended yet. They may still owe you money. There may be maybe things that you need to send to them or they need to send to you. You may want reviews. So it hasn't actually finished yet. Just because the service may have ended, the way that you are treating them and the way that you're providing that customer experience for them hasn't actually finished yet. I remember when I was a wedding planner that it often felt like I was on a conveyor belt. Very little time to breathe. I had back-to-back weddings between May and September. I specialise in marquees, so pretty much every weekend I would be working, you know, setting up the marquee from the Wednesday, being there on site Thursday, Friday, being there at the wedding all day until about 3 a.m. on the Saturday, back again Sunday, and then it would just be continuing. So I literally had no time to breathe, very common in the wedding industry. So one of the things that I absolutely put my hands up and say that got neglected was offboarding, because I would deliver a wedding, right, they're done, and then I'd be moving directly on to the next one with very little time to breathe in between, let alone do any kind of offboarding. And months later, I would get into quarter four quite often, and then I would be doing like my marketing audit, getting things ready on my website for the next season. And then I'd think, oh, I never did get images from that wedding. They never did leave me a review. But is it any wonder when I essentially ghosted them? When we are so close, leading up to the wedding, you know, in and out of each other's emails and WhatsApp and all of that, you get so close to the family and then boom, wedding day is done and I ghosted them. And it was only in later years that I realised, oh, this, you know, this isn't on. which is when I started the offboarding procedure. Now, obviously, this has been fine-tuned over the years, and then with my consultancy business, it has obviously been adapted to suit the clientele or the way that I serve my clients now. Now, with CRM systems now, there are so many ways that you can automate much of it. So it doesn't have to be such a chore. It doesn't have to be as time consuming. But also, this is where growing a team comes into play. If you want to scale your business, if you want to get to that next level, you can't do everything yourself. So you need to be able to automate, you need to be able to streamline, and you need to ask for help from your team to help you with some of the things that perhaps aren't as necessary for you. So think about how you can create that offboarding procedure. So if it is using a CRM system or using whatever you're currently using, whether you've got an email marketing system, perhaps you're already signed up to some kind of project management or CRM system. So do you have something that you can utilize already in terms of the offboarding of a client? You want to leave your client with a final positive impression of you and your business, which is so important if you are a service-based business, and particularly if you are your brand. Offboarding enables you to put the final touches on any project. It brings your relationship, your contract, to an official close, but all whilst planting the seeds for a future relationship with the client. A great offboarding process will deliver so much benefit to you and to your business that it's more likely that that customer will buy from you again. Many of my wedding clients became party clients, and the parties I would be doing for them each year. Students of the UK AWP became members. They also started purchasing additional training courses from them. So they were coming to me again and again. My consultancy clients, when they come to an end of a package, they will normally still hire me in some capacity at least once a year, just for that bit of a catch-up, that top-up, as they like to say. So it costs us less money to retain a customer or to get new bookings from someone that's worked with us before than it does to bring someone new into our world. And it's not even just actually a rate of exchange in terms of monetary value, that when you've worked with someone before, you know their little quirks, you know what makes them tick, you know what they like, what they don't like. When I was a wedding planner, because I specialise in marquees, it was always at people's homes. And so when I'd done multiple events for them, I was able to just rock up. I knew where things were. I knew the answers to everything. I knew which drawer in the kitchen held the scissors. You know, I knew where everything was. And so it was so much easier. And actually, from a time perspective, it then became more profitable as well, because I'm not spending my time asking needless questions all the time, because I already know the answers to those questions. So it's important that you are giving your clients a really good customer experience when they are leaving you, not just when you're onboarding, but when they're leaving you as well. You want to, in essence, leave them on a high, leave them wanting more, leave them thinking that you are the best thing ever. That's what you want. In fact, I was just reading a review from a client recently. She's just finished a service with me, and in her review, she called me a wizard. That was brilliant. Never been called a wizard before. But you know, it's that type of thing that you want from your clients, that they will want to work with you again and again, and you want to leave them on a high. So I had a little think about some of the things that I feel are essential to include in your client offboarding. Now, listen, every business is different. Your niches are going to be different. And so it's important that you adapt this to suit the industry that you're in, the niche that you provide. But I absolutely would include this in your SOPs. If you don't already have like a standard operating procedure, maybe this is something I can cover on a on a later episode. If that's helpful, let me know down below in the comments. But having this written out, having a process of how it is you're going to offboard a client is really important. So let's go through some of the things that I think are really essential. So the first thing is practical. Let's start with the boring practical aspect. So highlight any monies that is owed, any documents that need returning, details on closing any client portals. If the client is leaving you before a service has been delivered fully, make sure you highlight what they need to do independently to finish the project, as an example. Document their journey. It can be easy to forget how far a client has come. It can also be really difficult for the client to remember how far they've come, which is why when I work with a client, I always ask them to do a pre-session report so that they can actually document, okay, what have they done this week? And that helps them see the journey. But even so, what I do is I look back through early communication. I have forms, onboarding forms that my clients fill in. I go through that. What were the things they wanted to cover, and make sure, you know, that we have covered it. We normally have, because I use that as my guideline for creating their program. But I point out their wins. I point out their achievements. This is how you felt when you come to me. This is what you wanted to achieve when you come to me. This is what we've done. This is the progress that we have made. Highlight everything that you've done with them. I say everything, I mean like top level, not like everything. So highlight what has actually been done for them or with them, depending on what it is that you are providing. Remind them of any resources that maybe they already have. So my clients, they have at the moment, a Google Drive that's going to be moving to a client portal actually soon. But in there will be workbooks or documents or notes or things like that relating to specific training that we may well have done. So I'll remind them of that. You know, don't forget you've got your 90-day workbook. I would love you to continue doing this each quarter so that you know what your goals are. Don't forget your research document. I know we've done this together, but get into the habit of doing this, you know, at least twice a year. So I'm always giving them additional homework. Like, little caveat, my clients do actually like homework, so that's why I do it. But I've highlighted what their wins are, what they have achieved, how far they have come. But then I'm also reminding them these are the resources that are available. Here are some new resources that actually might be helpful for you. But also, this is what I think you should continue doing. Because the truth is that when my clients work with me, it doesn't stop. You know, I always say that I'm getting them on that path, and it's then up to them to keep going, to make that progress. And so I just highlight that in the offboarding. This is what I'd love you to do, because I can't help it. I don't just stop with my clients. It's all about how is it that I can support them moving forward, because I truly want to empower them so that they can thrive even without me, because that's what it should be about. I like to stay social. I call it stay social. So keep in touch with your clients on social media by commenting on some of their posts and stories. Leave WhatsApp voice notes or forward images when something reminds you of them. In short, you're showing that you haven't forgotten them. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to become a stalker. I'm not saying that you need to be commenting like every single day. Really, once a client has left you, kind of every 1 to 3 months, depending on what feels right, depending on what you feel those next steps are. Only do it if you want to and if it feels authentic. So what do I mean by that? If you don't want to work with a client again, then miss this stage. As harsh as that sounds, this is your business, and so it is important that you get to choose who you are working with. Now, you know, I still stay social with my clients, and you know, even clients that I worked with, you know, months ago or years ago, I will still be touching base with them. And it's not a touch base, hey, do you want to work with me again? It is, very authentic because I do genuinely want to know how they are. I am genuinely interested in them. I genuinely do want to leave a comment. So I'm doing it because I love my clients. I want to stay connected to them and with them. So think about what that looks like for you. But for me, it 100% works. It's staying in contact with my clients. It's showing that I'm paying attention to when they have been on holiday or their achievements, their wins, things like that. I will be commenting on their posts because they mean the world to me. Okay, the next thing you may want to think about is a referral scheme. So no one shouts or prays us harder than a past client, except perhaps our mums. So encourage them to do this. Create a referral scheme for past clients. When I was a wedding planner, I would send a bottle of champagne or a hamper to any clients that referred me to friends and family. The value would depend on the value of the booking, I'll be completely honest. So what can you offer to a past client if they refer someone to you? Because sometimes people just need reminding. So it's not that they don't think you're amazing, they do, but they almost forget to refer because it is that outside out of mind. That's why staying social is so important, because it's a marketing touch point. It keeps you in their mind. So if somebody in their world needs a whatever it is that you do, then they will refer you because you would have been in their mind. You know, you may have popped into their WhatsApp, you know, a couple of weeks prior. So about, oh yes, you need to work with Bernadette. I can't tell you how many wedding planners referred other wedding planners to me, whether it's through my consultancy or through my training or through membership. And that's what you want. You want your network working for you. I've spoken about this before in previous videos when we talk about the strengths of networking. It's almost like a follow-up from that, really. So what is it that you can offer to a past client if they refer someone to you? Just create a scheme, tell them about it. Remind them that as a small business, each and every client is so important to you. If you've loved working with me, I'd be so appreciative if you could recommend me to, you know, your friends and family. As a thank you, anyone that books, I will send you X. So what you send will be appropriate to what it is you offer, because it might actually be that if you're a business coach, you might offer them a free call with you. So this is something that I do. So if I have past clients that refer me to their network and I get a booking, then most of my clients, what they want is actually a call with me. They don't really want that hamper. So they will have a call with me instead. So whatever feels right for you. You're then going to think about any further services. So some clients will come to the end of the service but still need some support. So I have a maintenance package I offer only to past clients. So this is a service where they can continue working with me on a more regular basis. It's a cheaper rate than what they'll see on the website, but it's only for past clients. And that's because I've already got to know them. I already know what makes them tick. I know which clients I need to go hard with and which ones I need to be softer with. So it's all about adapting according to what it is they need from me. So do you have enough service that you can offer to the client to consider instead of leaving you completely? Now, listen, I appreciate if you're in the wedding industry and you've planned their wedding for them, maybe not. Like I said, parties, definitely not valued enough in the events industry because they were so profitable for me. I've spoken about this, you know, before. So is there something else that you can sell to them? Don't forget to ask for feedback, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. So in order to grow as a business owner, it's essential that you know exactly where any gaps of efficiency are. I'm a big believer in doing an audit. I always say to my clients, you do a sales audit each year, you do a marketing audit each year, you check your customer service. You want to check that everything that you are offering is to the right level. And also, does it bring you joy still? So from an offboarding point of view, rather, it's really important that you know how it is they really felt. So ask a few questions. I tend to use Google Forms because it's quite easy. I send them a link to this. I have I don't have many questions on there, but I'm able to get a sense of, did I make their life easier? Anything they loved, anything, did it meet their expectations? One word to sum me up. I love asking this, by the way, because it's really good from a marketing point of view. I just send them a link, but by doing it on Google Forms, I'm able to compare answers from previous clients. And so any patterns that come up, I'm able to analyze those. And then I also will send the clients a link to like my Google review page or my Facebook review, or if you use Trustpilot, whatever you use. And again, say to them, as a small business, each and every review is really valued by you. And you'd love it if they can leave you a review. So anyway, those are the main things that I will be including in my offboarding. So some of it is automated in terms of that final email that I send, and then some of it is more a touch and base with them. So it's a mixture of both, really. And in terms of what you can use to help automate part of the offboarding, I use FEA Create, you've got Dubsado, but you could also, to be honest, do this through MailerLite, which is a free email system. So there are various things that you can use. So I hope that this has helped, but do share with me any of what your offboarding looks like, and perhaps one tip that you're going to implement going forward. I would love to hear from you, so you can leave me a little comment below. And don't forget, if you can hit like and subscribe, I would really appreciate the support with my little YouTube channel. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will be back very soon for another installment of advice for wedding and creative business owners. Take care until next time. Bye.